Hi everybody, this is Nate and welcome to the Howzig YouTube channel and also welcome to my weekly auction storage locker finds. This is going to be, like I said, a weekly update. I'm going to scan across the internet and find the very best storage units for people to buy. And I'm also going to find a few storage units that people really need to stay away from. I've been purchasing storage units and as well as truckloads of unknown product and lots of other lots for 15 years now. And I found a lot of really good techniques, and I've learned an awful lot through trial and error, and some things I really wish I never did as well. But enough of that boring stuff. Here's our first auction that I found, and this is a really exciting one. I'm going to bid on it myself. This is for a 1950s, 56, 57, 58 BMW Isetta. Isetta is a single piston car. The BMW mass produced them in the 50s. It is actually getting something crazy like 75 miles per gallon. There's a really big kind of like I guess group of people that just love these cars. It's one of those kind of quirky cars that just the right type of people love to collect. And of course, BMW enthusiasts, even though it might not look like your typical BMW, it is BMW made. And again, it was from the 50s. So we're now looking at a car that's approaching 60 years old, and this one looks like it's in very good condition. They even have a nice Isetta license plate on it. The Isetta began in Italy, and then, like I said, BMW made it for a while. I think they produced it was over 100,000 cars. I think it was like 150,000 cars overall. There's not tons of them around. And right now, cars that are in this condition are selling bare minimum for about $25,000. And a lot of them, people are asking for $40,000 for these cars. Notwithstanding, there's other totes and things in that locker that probably would add up to $1,000, maybe $1,500 overall. When somebody has a storage locker and they keep it neat and clean like this one, and they have a car that's in such pristine condition, it kind of makes you believe that they're going to have other goodies in there that are worth something to someone. And this car definitely is worth it. Right now, it's at $7,500. It's had a lot of bids already, 86 of them. This is closing just under a week from now, which puts us at June 9th, and that'll be just in the beginning of the afternoon on June 9th. And today is June the 2nd. I'm going to actually place a bid on it, but right now it's $7,500. By the time you add a 10% buyer's premium and 6% tax on there, you're going to be in the just under 9,000 range as far as what it'd be worth. I'm going to bid 9,500 on the car. On this particular site, you have to do it in $10 increments. This is definitely a $10 increment, so not a big problem. I'm placing my bid. It's saying yes, confirm, and I just bid $9,500 on the car. I sure wish that I win it at that. I'm guessing that it's going to go up again, and I definitely will place another bid down the line. If I do get outbid, I probably would say I would go as high as $12,000 on this car. Again, it looks pristine. However, there is always a possibility of issues when you're buying motor vehicles from storage lockers. First and foremost, there might be a lien on it, as far as not the lien that the storage unit business has, but the lien that in case somebody purchased this thing in the last few years, maybe they bought it for $35,000, made $5,000 in payments, means the bank would own $30,000 of the car. I'm guessing because it's an antique car that that's not the case, but there's always that possibility. So there is some risk. So I might be buying a $40,000 car, but at the same time, if I have to share $30,000 with somebody, now I'm going to be upside down on it. So what my calculations is, if the car is truly worth $40,000, coupled with the stuff that's already in the locker, if I make a $9,500 bid and I pay roughly $1,500 in taxes and buyer's premium, that brings me to $11,000. So I think worst case scenario, I would break even. The other pitfall of buying a car is that it could be the engine could be dead. The inside might be completely torn out or rat infested. Again, the unit does not look like it'd be somebody that would treat their car that way. So you know, I don't see any oil on the ground, and you know, for all that, you know, I'm really confident that this is a good running car. The other pitfall is that usually there's no keys that come with the car. And getting the title is also very difficult. Some states give you a lot of heck when it comes to trying to get a title when you've bought a car from a storage locker. Technically, you do own it, but at the same time, some states do, you know, actually get the owner involved, so that makes it very difficult. And of course, the owner, you know, ultimately owned the car at one point, but they gave up their rights when they left it in the unit. And the storage auction business is allowed to auction it off, and you do own it, but you know, it's just one of those things that could be troublesome. And it also, some cars could be stolen or part of a divorce, and lots of things like that. So just by seeing a car when it's worth 40,000, you've got to really factor in all the pitfalls that are involved with it. I had a friend who said that he bought a storage locker and somebody had somehow found out where he lived and showed up and wanted all of his stuff. And you know, he talked to the person, said he bought, you know, and then eventually he gave up, you know, a few boxes of things that he, you know, figured were just mementos, and he didn't really want it anyway. The guy went on his way. He still wasn't happy. But I mean, ultimately, he's the one that didn't pay for his locker, so you can't really feel too bad about it. But so right now I'm high bidder at $7,520. Again, this is about a week away by the time this closes. In case you've not actually bid on storage units, you actually have to pay a buyer's premium. All the money that goes to the bidding actually goes to the storage place, to the business that has the storage lockers. That's supposed to pay down the amount of money the person owed, and clean it up and allow them to rent the unit again. And that's the reason why they have a buyer's premium. And in this site, you pay, you know, $10 a month, and your buyer's premium's 10%. If you don't pay, it's 15%. And when you're spending $10,000, that's a big difference. So it's worthy to pay the 10%. I'm on storagetreasures.com. It's easily the largest national site that covers, well, World Wide Web is international, of course, but I'm saying it has at least 40 of the states and they all have storage units, of course, all the states, but 40 of the states are at least on this site, and it's the easiest to use too. Auction Zip is another site that you can use. The problem with Auction Zip is they add so many other auctions in there that are not storage auctions, and some of it's interesting stuff, but it just bogs the site down so much it's useless. So storagetreasures.com is a great site. You know, you can just go and, you know, play around there and learn if you want, or you can watch my videos, and I can give you some of the, you know, some advice from all the trial and error I've endured over the years. It's a great business if you, as long as you know what you're doing. You know, it's fun if you're only spending $50, $100, something like that, and you never know what you're going to get. But there's definitely some things you don't want to get. But when it comes to things like cars, hey, it's definitely a good thing. And I'm going backwards where I should have just gone to my watch list. But now we'll get back to the list that I was looking at originally when we first started the video. And here we go. This next auction is one that is very high priced right now, and it still has almost 2 weeks left. And I'm sure I'll circle back in a couple of weeks and talk about this one and let you know what it finally ended at. But to me, this one's ridiculous. It's in Illinois. It's currently at $11,600, and once you add the 10% and the 7% sales tax on there, you're over $13,000 that you have to pay for this unit to clear it out. And that's another thing, when you buy storage units, you have to clear it all out and sweep it. They usually hold $100 cash deposit until they check the unit and then give it to you once they believe it's properly cleaned out. This was a hobby shop. Looks like a baseball card store. There's baseball cards, football cards, autographed memorabilia. This is a bunch of hockey sticks. Since they're different brands, That means they most likely are collected from like Chicago Blackhawk players or maybe some superstars from any other teams. Usually, if somebody plays hockey, they use the same brand, and they don't have every single brand that's been made represented. I don't see autographs on these, so it's hard to tell. But if you get autographs that are like Wayne Gretzky or Gordie Howe or Maurice Richard or any of the guys that are extremely popular, Sidney Crosby now, those sticks usually are any place from $300 to $500. 300 low end because it's their stick, so it's usually game used. People love that. 500 if it's got a certificate of authenticity or a hologram on it that's guaranteeing that that item was indeed signed by that individual. This is one of those lots that is great to look at and makes your mind kind of swim when it comes to all the possibilities. But by looking at these sticks, maybe 5 or 6 of them are, in those hundreds of dollars range. There might be some others that are 100, 100, and $200. But if you're saying, if I was to buy all these today, I wouldn't go more than about $1,500 because you just have no clue who's on them and if they are actually holding certificates of authenticity. These right here are 3 footballs that are signed. I blew up the picture as much as I could, and I couldn't find anybody on here that's a Hall of Famer that's passed away, or anybody from a Super Bowl team. So it really made it, me think that these balls were no more than about 300 to 350 each, so 1,000 for the stack, and that includes the really nice display cases that these are in. So I mean, neat to look at, but really not of any great value. These boxes all have baseball and football cards written on them, and then they have some names listed, and the names are not top players. So that makes me believe that back in the mid 90s, some of them are earlier 90s, and some just creep into the 2000 range, that these were lots that the person that owned the hobby store was making sets out of. And you sell the sets, and if you get some insert cards or something that's really great, you sell those individually. But ultimately, what's left over is a bunch of pretty much worthless cards. They call them commons, and the baseball card companies printed 1 million plus of each player each year, and just completely flooded the market, making the card prices rocket down so much. That's why a lot of these hobby shops have gone out of business. Plus, eBay doesn't help either. eBay, Amazon, and other online marketplaces, you can buy just about any card, and then it gets shipped right to your door. And that pretty much cuts out any need for a hobby shop whatsoever, because hobby shops don't have it all, and then you have to drive around finding one. Moving on, we got this Bears helmet. It looks like it's from the early 80s based on the face mask, and it's a replica helmet. It doesn't have all the padding that a typical helmet would have inside. And again, I looked at the names and couldn't find anybody of great value. So it being a replica helmet and the number of autographs, there's probably a couple of good names on here someplace. I'd say the helmet's worth about $250. That brings the total for this whole locker. If you're saying $10 to $15 for one of these boxes, over on the right, these are going to have some more autographs in there. I would say I would never go above about $7,000 for this particular locker. And I don't know how deep it goes. Overall, it's a 10 by 10 unit, and there's a pretty good opening in the middle here. So I'm saying that what you see here is about what you're going to get. So overall, this unit is overpriced, and the person that currently has the high bid is going to pay $13,000. They're going to get 1 million cards that are not worth very much, and then some nice autographed items, but I don't believe they'll ever get their money back. So I don't believe that this right here is a really good value. So those are the 2 lots that or lockers I've looked at and thought one was fantastic with the Isetta car in it, and then this one is way overpriced. And again, they close a long time from now. I'll let you know what they close at. And again, this is my first video, and thank you for stopping in. And please check back for other Hausig videos. Bye.